the oven. Lace up your trousers and get ready for some jokes. From Los Angeles, California, it's the Brian Crow Show. Bow, bitches.
Jeez, that's always so heavy. I love that. So, hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of The Brian Crow Show. That means that it's my show because I am your host, Brian Crow. And thank you all so much for tuning in. Every time I show up here, there's more and more cameras that seem to be here in the room. So I always feel more and more intimidated. But let's look at a number of different things. We're going to take a trip into my perspective yet once again, and you're welcome for it. Bill Maher has had to go through some trials and tribulations about doing a speech up in Berkeley. We'll talk about that. The prisoners that have been in Gitmo and that have been leaving there and running out to join ISIS. We're going to talk about that too. And we are coming up upon a midterm election. And it's not just that I hate the midterm election, it's that I hate the advertising. We will be delving into that as well. And talking about and actually delving into various interesting things that welcome to me, I guess, is really what this is getting right back down to. And as part of that, we will also be doing a segment that is historical figures talking about current events. A little bit of improvised fun and humor for you, and hopefully you will enjoy it as much as I enjoy doing it. But Bill Maher. I don't know if I love Bill Maher, if I hate him, because sometimes I just find him to be completely full of shit. So completely partisan and unavailable to any other form of a point of view other than that is his. And he's been asked to do the commencement speech for the University of Berkeley, and some of the students actually protested and asked that he not be invited to do that speech because of the things that he had to say regarding Islamists and Muslims. And he had something to say in regards to, I don't know, maybe that they are professing things like war, death, and killing. War, death, and killing. These are not positives. These are not good things. These are things that should not be, we don't want to support. And so he actually spoke up, very liberal guy that he is, and yet even farther left factions of students on the Berkeley campus didn't want Bill Maher to speak. They didn't want to hear his words, because he'd actually said something that might have been negative about Islam. I don't know, that maybe ISIS was doing things like killing people. And Bill Maher, rightly so, actually thought that was a bad thing. So why should we silence that voice? Why should we potentially shut that down? And the answer is we should not. We should not do that. We should not shut down a voice that is speaking something, even if it may be in opposition of a small faction of people. Bill Maher, for once, was actually speaking out, going, you know what? This is bullshit. This is a group of people that are hell-bent and looking to create violence and damage and to hurt other people. That's what they want to do. That is what their focus and what their point is. They are looking to create jihad, a religious war, religious violence, or using violence and using religion as an excuse to create violence on other people that maybe are completely uninvolved with that, completely unattached to that. And so he had the nerve to speak up and say, oh, hey, this is a load of crap. And so now there's people saying, hey, let's not have Bill Maher talk at our campus. UC Berkeley is a hub of very progressive liberal thinking, which is very, very, very much in line with Bill Maher and what he professes and what he goes after. And yet somehow these people are now attacking him. The irony is a bit thick. And hey, Bill, welcome to feeling like your friend Ann Coulter, because Bill Maher and Ann Coulter are actually very good friends, and nothing wrong with that. That's a great thing. People cannot agree on certain things, but still be friends. Hopefully, like you and I here on the show. But yeah, so there is Bill actually having to put up with people saying they don't want to hear his voice. They don't want to hear his opinion. They don't think that his opinion is valid because he had the nerve, the audacity to speak out against radical Islamic people that are doing things like, I don't know, shooting guns and killing people in the name of their religion. I'm on board with Bill on this one. I actually am. I think that everything that he's been saying has been completely dead on, and he's got a point to make, and I think it is valid that he speaks it. And the idea that somehow shutting him down is somehow a good idea, no, it's not. It's never a good idea to shut down unless somebody's completely batshit crazy. Let people speak their mind. Let people say what it is that they have to say. And Bill Maher actually has had something very valid and valuable to say in regards to this situation. And the fact that you don't agree with him, I don't understand this idea that just because somebody says something that you don't agree with, your plan and your point is therefore to shut it down and say, hey, I don't agree with this, and so don't let anybody hear this. What if it was your opinion that was getting shut down because other people didn't agree with it? How would that? I know how it would feel to me. Excuse me, I've got the right to express my opinion. I've got my right to say what it is that I believe. And who the fuck are you to try to shut that down? Isn't that where the First Amendment came from? Isn't that what this is all about? Is the right to speak your mind and then let it work out the way that it works out? You can agree or disagree. Either way is completely all right. But what is not okay is to then turn around and try to shut that down and not let somebody speak their mind just because you happen not to agree with it. You arrogant fucker. No, people get to say what they want to say and express their opinions and their thoughts and their ideas and look to take the project that is our lives and move it forward. They get to do that. And if all you want to do is just shut it down because you happen not to agree with it, don't say something that I don't agree with. Don't ever do that. If you say something and I don't agree with it, well, I'm going to try to make sure that you never get to express that idea. That's awful. That is an awful place to come from. You can disagree with people all day long. And you should always, and yes, you should, if you disagree with somebody, say so. By all means, speak up, use your voice, do that. But there's a great big difference between I don't agree with you, and so I want to disagree with you, and I'm going to voice my disagreement, as compared to I disagree with you, and I'm going to try to shut down so that you can't express what it is that you think and feel. Those are very different things. One of them is oppressive. One of them is accepting and allowing and giving for a sense of conversation. And one of them moves us forward, and the other one does not. The other one shuts us down. Don't ever do that. Somebody has an opinion that you disagree with, go ahead, disagree with it. Say that you disagree with it. Do it vehemently, do it loudly. But don't shut down the other person's opinion just because you don't like it. And if what your choice is to try to shut them down, well then fuck you. With a capital F and a capital Y and a capital U, just because I love playing with vowels. Don't ever try to shut somebody else down for their expression, for their opinion, no matter how vehemently you may disagree with them. Even if they are arguing for something that you find to be completely horrible, they have their right to their opinion, they have their right to their expression, just like you do. Because think about this. If you're somebody that's out there wanting to shut down somebody that is expressing something that you disagree with, what about when you're the person and everybody else disagrees with you? Does your right to express that go away? I don't think so. Do you think so? I don't. But Bill Maher, I will also say, how does it feel to be in the same shoes as Ann Coulter, who is a friend of his? They don't agree on a lot of things politically, but they are clearly, definitely friends. And yet she gets shut down to go do appearances all the time based on her opinions and her thoughts and feelings. None of them should be shut down. None of them should be disallowed. The only time that I think it becomes an idea that something should be disallowed is if, I don't know, let's say somebody was talking about the idea of death and killing people for some sort of political belief. You know, at that point, I might actually say, "Hey, you crossed the line. You're no longer in a safe zone, and you should. I'm not going to allow you to espouse that kind of ideology, that kind of thinking process." Other than that, Bill Maher should be at Berkeley in a few weeks, and in fact, the faculty there are going to let him speak and do the commencement speech for Berkeley several months from now, and a damn good thing. I love and I hate Bill Maher. Sometimes I think he's brilliant and genius and incredibly funny, and sometimes I want to smack him in the head with a stick. But I don't know. I actually think that's kind of good. I think it's great that he's expressing ideas that are all over the place, and expressing ideas that make you think and make you work for it a little bit. I think that's a positive thing. And other than that, I have no opinion whatsoever. So we're going to do a great quick break here and do an historical figure speaking on modern topics. Something that was taped previously. Mr. Producer, are we poised and ready to go? Yes, we are. I don't know which character's coming up first. I hope you have a good time and enjoy and laugh watching it. So here's a bit of that for you right now.
President Clinton, it's great to have you here. So how have things been going since your presidency?
I've not been getting quite as much nookie as I used to. I miss that. I do. You ever take a good, solid look at Hillary? God, please run in 2006. Run. Run, Hillary, run. Fine.
So you're out doing a lot of humanitarian works, I hear. So
It's true. I love humanity. I love them. I do. All of them. Closer the better.
So Monica Lewinsky just fairly recently
don't.
came out with a book to talk about.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that?
I always called her Jiggles. Oh no, she wrote her book and she's welcome to it, and I'm friends with her publisher, and so I'm glad that Miss Lewinsky, who I never had sex with up until the point that I did, although I didn't, even if I may have, but I didn't, although there. Oh look, it's a sticky situation, no pun intended. I'm happy that she's moved on with her life and has made something, we don't know what she's made of it yet. There'll be a reality TV show soon, I'm sure, but yes. Good for her. I almost sound like John Travolta right now, trying to promote a movie that's not worthy of being seen. What?
How's your daughter been?
She's Chelsea, the big C. She's great. She's working hard, and I'm really hoping that she doesn't turn into a great big bitch like her mother. Oh, is the camera on?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, we can edit this later, right? All right.
We can have Jesus edit it just thinking about it.
Perfect. Yeah, I love Jesus, and Jesus loves me 9 times out of 10.
What's your stance on global warming?
I'm for it. I think global warming's a good thing because who doesn't love a really nice summer, and winter rolls around and we all bitch and complain about how cold it is after summer. And here we've gone and created a year-round summer. What's the problem? This is we can go to the beach 24/7. I think it's amazing. So everybody, the more carbon dioxide out of our mouths, the better. Don't buy a Prius, buy an Escalade, I say. Make sure that we try to melt the ozone, and who needs a polar? When was the last time you enjoyed the use of a polar ice cap? Never! Let it go. Let's surf in the winter. That's what I say. Yeah.
Well, if you were still president now, how would you react to the threat of ISIS?
I'd throw a party. I mean, really. I mean, look, these dudes they're all pent up and they're angry and they're ticked off about this, that. You know what? A good cocktail among friends, and maybe you know what? Hire them some interns. You get them. You know what? Run an ad on Craigslist for some ISIS interns, and you watch this battle vanish. That's what I say. Mm-hmm. Oh, cigars from Cuba. Let's keep it all in the family.
Okay. This question. Bill Clinton. Let's see.
I'm gonna burn in hell for this shit. NSA is gonna get a hold of this going, where's Brian Crow? And problems. So Bill Clinton speaks about stuff, yeah. So hey, check this out. Do you guys know who Andy Kaufman is? Cool, good, so do I. Andy Kaufman is alive and well, possibly. So in the last couple of days, Bob Zmuda, very, very close friend of Andy Kaufman. Hold it, little bit of background history. So Andy Kaufman, for those of you that don't know, don't remember, was a phenomenal, I don't even know if stand-up comedian is the right word. Performance artist might be a little bit more accurate. Best known probably as the character Latka on Taxi. Thank you very much. He had there was a biopic made about him, directed by Milos Forman, starring Jim Carrey, called The Man of the Moon, about the life of Andy Kaufman. One of his best friends and co-writers was a guy by the name of Bob Zmuda. Bob Zmuda was not only a close friend of Andy Kaufman, but also he had an alter ego by the name of Tony Clifton. And very, very frequently, everybody always figured that Tony Clifton was actually Andy Kaufman doing this character. In fact, it was Tony Clifton. And even to the point that Mr. Zmuda did an appearance on the David Letterman show as Tony Clifton, and for a year, apparently it was for a year, Letterman was convinced that it was Andy Kaufman that was doing the character, when in fact it was Bob Zmuda. So Bob Zmuda has written a book called Andy Kaufman, The Truth, finally, just recently released, and he is saying that in fact Andy Kaufman is alive and well. He doesn't necessarily know where he is, but that what Andy Kaufman did was fake his death as a joke, as being the greatest gag ever, that he would literally find a way to fake his death and convince everyone that he was literally gone from this planet, and we are just about at the 30th anniversary of that. And what Mr. Zmuda has talked about is that shortly, because we're at the 30th anniversary, that Andy will sort of reveal himself and show the farce that it is. And how phenomenal and amazing would that be? This was a guy, aside from the characters that he created, like Latka, and his stand-up was always, I don't even know if abrasive is the right word. He would do things on Saturday Night Live where he would end up doing, he would do mud wrestling with women and act as though he was this incredibly overly sexist, misogynist hater of women, and just to create that level of hate and that level of static and anger, and it was all just to how far can I pull the audience in some direction? How can I bend and spin this into something completely different and unique, like something you've never seen, and let me find a way to make you hate me, even though I'm totally faking it. Just a complete fiction. His whole thing was, how can I make you think something that is completely not true? and then make you believe it. And the ultimate thing was he was trying to figure out, let me fake my death. And according to Bob Smuda, this was something that went on for a number of years. And this is well spelled out, again, within the book. Andy Kaufman, The Truth, finally. Andy's idea was, how can I pull this off? How can I actually make people think, you know what, I'm dead. I'm dead and I died. Including a corpse, a burial, a funeral, etc. And then, according to Bob, within the next few months, supposedly, Andy is going to, much like Lazarus, come from the dead and pop up and go, there was a great big joke. Fooled you. Greatest punchline ever. Think about that. If this is true, if Mr. Smuda is right, if he's actually telling the truth, imagine what would happen if suddenly out of nowhere, Andy Kaufman came back from the dead. He wasn't, in fact, a dead person. He was just bullshitting this whole time. I don't know if I would hate him or love him. Part of me would be real a big fan of Andy Kaufman. I thought he was a brilliant genius and somebody who was just pushing the envelope. It wasn't always necessarily funny, but you know what it always was? It was always interesting. It was always eye-opening. It was always, I'm going to do something that nobody else is doing. I'm going to push the envelope. I'm going to do something different. And so he did that. So if what he actually did, if it turns out that he did not, in fact, die, I believe it was lung cancer, was the excuse that was used. If it turns out that he's actually alive and he comes back, that is just would be one of the most phenomenal things ever. Nobody's ever pulled off anything like that. Not Houdini, not anybody. That would be stunning. That would be phenomenal theater. Think about that. 30 years of believing somebody was dead to have them turn around and go, nope, just fucking with your head. Get angry all you want. But there would be a certain brilliance in that. I would marvel at it. Don't know if I would do it myself. Don't know if I could. But think about the commitment to that. That somebody spent 30 years. That's a lifetime. Faking the fact that they were dead. And then they came back and went, just fucking with you. Be pretty phenomenal. So I'm waiting to see exactly what goes on with that. And if that's not the case, then Bob Smuda's story and his book will be worth about all the paper that it's printed on. But it's certainly a great story. And certainly go check that guy's stuff out. Bob Smuda has done a phenomenal job as the character of Tony Clifton. So go ahead and take a look at that. In the meantime, we're going to go check out another historic figure talking about modern content and experiences. So check this out. I don't know what's next. In fact, probably better off that way. But please enjoy. Or porn film. I never watched them, but I thought it would be a good time.
So Gandhi,
Yes.
what do you think about the attacks in Syria that happened recently?
Those fucking assholes. You know, it's amazing to me. I'm always blown away by the negativity that has grown out of what could be potential positivity, and yet there's this lack of a oneness, of a soulness, of a humanness, of a kindness, and then they are yet abusing what is. They are the Muslim, and they are not the Hindu, and they are not the Christian, and yet there is a lack of the willingness, of the understandingness of what. I think if I could take a moment. If I could take a moment to sit those people down and speak to them face to face, direct, eye to eye, my thought would be, what the fuck are you thinking? What is it out of like exploding bombs and hurting people? I mean, you don't, all you do is, look, we all have the same brown skin. I know it's not brown on this camera, but let go of that. There could be special effects later. Thank you, George Lucas. Leave me alone. But my point being is that in what way does like exploding and blowing up other people somehow make a peace and wonderfulness, you great big silly bastards? I starved myself for months out of peace, and all you can do is blow things up. Do you have any idea what it is like to be in it? I want a Big Mac. I want a Big Mac. And yet all you can do is drop a bomb, you dumb idiots. So I think I might say something like that. Does that make sense? Look, there's a dog trying to get out of a room. It's something like, yes, hello. But it is okay. All is good and peaceful, and all is love. And oh, it just got really bright in here. Wow. Oh, look. Gandhi does John Lennon. All you need is love. And da-da-da-dun. If I could have made that sound like a sitar, it would have been much more effective. All right, enough of that. Jason, what else can I tell you? What else would you like to know?
What do you think of the direction of the new Pope?
Well, with the shape of his hat, it's always pointing upwards. I think that's wonderful. You know, I actually say that he's on the right track. It's one of peace and solvency, and something where it's about equality and creating a peace amongst people, which is a nice thing. I had dinner with him a month ago, and he can't cook. He can't cook. He's a lovely human being, and yet I'm like, don't you know how to properly spice spaghetti and meatballs? You don't know how to do this? You're in Italy, you idiot. And anyway. So, but he's a lovely man who needs cooking lessons.
What do you think of President Obama's new healthcare laws?
It's wonderful. You really know it. It's great. There's nothing more fascinating about watching one man bullshit one group of people to bullshit another group of people, and yet put it on the auspices of peace. I'm sorry. I think he should open up a company called the Good Intentions Paving Company. I think that might be a great way. That should be under all of his... There's still a dog trying to escape this room. I believe that is the way that he can yet actually create the kind of policy that would be accurately described through euphemism, which might be slightly confused amongst people, but so what? Work for it!
How do you feel about the Dalai Lama's new decision to have no successor? That there shall never be another Dalai Lama.
That guy is such an asshole. Oh, no successor. Because with you there is only you and nobody but you. There couldn't be nobody like you. What are you, Richard Gere, American Gigolo? You know, he'll get over it. It'll be fine. One point he realized, look, I'm going to die and somebody has to, he would be the Dali no more at that point after that. So he has to find a way to have a Dali somebody else. So, interesting but short-sighted. That's all. Yes.
Now, if the Dalai Lama isn't reincarnated, as he says, then the
We have
country
Miley
itself-
Cyrus. No.
the country itself will appoint one Dalai Lama, and the true believers will appoint another. What do you think about two Dalai Lamas?
Sounds like a math problem from middle school. I have two Dalai Lamas in a train station and we're going to Tibet. One train leaves at 35 miles an hour, another one leaves at 40. Who becomes the true Dalai Lama? And I flunked math, so I can't answer that.
Speaking of spiritual leaders, who in your mind is the greatest Christian spiritual leader?
Greatest Christian spiritual leader.
Alive today.
That's alive today.
Alive today.
That's a toughie. Ozzy Osbourne.
Why do you say Ozzy Osbourne?
I love you all! I think that says it all right there.
Who do you think is our greatest political leader today?
That's setting the bar rather low. That's like saying, who is the greatest retard on the playground? The one not eating sand. Although sand can be tasty. I know when I was on a hunger strike, there was many a day that's... Do you remember Joe Bob Briggs?
No, who was that?
He was a film critic and funny at that. I don't think there is one. I think there are equally and gloriously full of it. And let them flounder in their silliness till the moment that the Enlightenment awakens them, and there is a point at which that they become something greater than themselves, and they can actually understand the euphemisms with which I've just spoken.
So, if you were going to leave us with any wise words of wisdom, what would they be?
If, and, maybe, possibly, and fisting is a bad idea. It has been my pleasure giving you these words of wisdom. Seriously, right up to here, it's a bad idea. It's hemorrhaging. Don't. Nothing peaceful about that. There's no. This is for a wristwatch, not for Crisco. Just understand that. So, does that help?
Sure. Okay, let's...
Well, there was a good time. Mahatma Gandhi talking about current events or something like that. So, yeah. So, here's something. Have you guys out there seen the things that have gone on regarding Renee Zellweger and her apparent, massive change of face, pun intended? Have you? Yeah. Bullshit. Renee Zellweger, who fucking cares? Not because, number one, I think Renee Zellweger is a tremendous actress and has done phenomenal performances in things. You know, she was pretty great in Jerry Maguire. She was rather great in Chicago. She's a great actress. And yet, what she has apparently elected to do is somewhat step away from the spotlight, and by all reporting, has found a great place of happiness. Has she actually gotten any sort of plastic surgery or something on her face? Nobody said. And who fucking cares? You know what? Leave her the fuck alone. She has found a place in her life that she's happy with. And she's happy with how she, and so, she doesn't look the way that she looks, a little bit different. Oh my God. I'm sorry. Do you look the same way now as you did 5 years ago? I don't. She doesn't. Most people don't. You know what? Sometimes your appearance changes throughout life. And if, number one, I mean, I've looked at the pictures. It doesn't look to me like she got a lot or any, quote, work. Because typically when they do that, you look like this. You have this constantly startled look. And it's, she just looks like somebody who is just gotten a bit older and still looks great. And everybody is taking a complete shit all over her as though it has something to do with who she is as a human being. What are you doing? She is a human being, and she's an actress, and she's somebody in the public eye, and she's a great actress, and she's a great singer, and she's done some incredible performances. But that doesn't therefore open her up for complete over-the-top criticism of something that is different about her face, as though any of us have some sort of right or justification to comment on the changes that have gone on in her life. Who the fuck are you, or who the fuck would I be to comment on that? Where do we get the right for that? We don't. She's a human being. She happens to be an actress in the public eye that has done phenomenal work. Doesn't therefore mean that we can rain down blows of insults and comments based on the changes in her face because we somehow find it to be different. Shut the fuck up. Leave the lady alone. She's still the same person that she was 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago. She's the same woman who performed in Chicago and in Jerry Maguire and in anything else that she's done. She's the same person. If she's decided to get plastic surgery, great. She gets to do that. Whether you like it or not, it's not up to you. And if she looks differently just because that's what happens in life, you know what? You get older, you change. Go ahead and take a look at the pictures of yourself from preschool. You don't look the same, do you? Oh, shit, you got older. Shut the fuck up. That's what happens. So stop passing judgment. Leave people alone. Focus on yourselves. I think that is one of the greatest detriments in terms of looking at people that are quote famous, people that are actors, actresses, and how we attach and talk about and glom onto what they look like, what they're wearing, what they're doing, etc., etc., etc. It is of no importance. It is of no importance whatsoever. It's amusing. Not a bad time. It's entertaining. But what does it really have to do with you and your life? What does it really have to... What does thinking about and worrying about those things have to do with you and your life and change it for one way or the other? And the simple fact is, I would say, it has nothing to do with it. It's unimportant. It's an aside. It's fun, but it's not important. So don't do that. You know what? Take care of you. Take care of yourself. Take care of your wife, your husband, your family, the things that you actually need, the things that are important. Go ahead and, watch the stuff. It's a good time. It's entertaining. But taking the time and the energy to rip somebody down, to literally the things that I read online, tearing apart Renee Zellweger because some people thought that she didn't look the way I guess they wanted her to. Well, who the fuck are you? I think Renee Zellweger or anybody else, including you, gets to look however you want to look whenever you want to look that way. And if somebody else has a problem with it, piss off. It's not up to you. Not their life, it's yours. It's not your life, it's Renee Zellweger's. She gets to do whatever it is that she wants to do. Leave her the fuck alone. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, there, I think I said it. Hey, you know what? We're going to take another fun break before we come back to talk about people that have been in Guantanamo Bay prison and then have run off to the Middle East to join ISIS to try to come back and kill us, because that seemed like a good plan. But in the meantime, here's another historical figure talking about modern events. There you go.
And we are here with Jesus. Jesus, can you tell us, who do you favor in the Super Bowl this year?
I don't know, man. You know, whoever is willing to, pay more glory to Dad. I think that's, that's. I always think that's. I love it. Love it when they're out there on the field and they're paying glory to Dad and just saying, because here's the thing they don't know. My dad loves hockey. He fucking hates football. So, all right. So, but don't tell him. Don't tell him. All right, just don't. What else? What else can I tell you, man?
Hey, so what happened with all the miracles?
Oh, they're everywhere. What miracles? Well, yesterday was Mushroom Miracle Mondays. They're all over the place. I'm wearing sunglasses, but I still see what's going on around me. The miracles are out there, man. They're all there. So you gotta take a step back and you just gotta. I look at it this way. Look, somebody stuck nails through my hands onto a tree, and I can still look around and say there's great stuff. Of course, I did have a good view at the time, but it's all there. Be open to it. Be willing. Be just available for the great things that are out there for you.
So there's this kid in Missouri.
Yeah.
Who? Ned.
No, somebody else. I'm sorry.
There was an image of you on some church grounds, and he took some photos of himself so that it made it look like you were giving him fellatio. He's now facing 2 years time for doing that, for posting it on Facebook. Well, how do you feel about that? Do you think that he deserves more, less?
No, a lot less. Well, here's the whole thing. If he's going to jail, maybe I didn't do a good enough job. I don't know. That's stupid. No, I saw that on the internet thing. We have computers in heaven, and we use Apple, by the way. And so I saw that. It's just more, it's more human stupid. You guys get yourself into more trouble. More trouble over stupid shit. Come on! What, we need to do like another dose of plagues for you to... It's a guy having fun with a statue. Was it really me? No. Stupid. So he'll be fine. Somebody will step in. I won't say who, I won't say when. I'll just say they will.
So, how do you feel about people claiming war in your name?
Assholes. I don't like it. I don't like that at all. You know, yeah, I did the whole thing. I took the nails, cross, sins, all that, and then you run around like a bunch of complete stupid idiots and say that you're killing other people in the name of me and my dad. You never mention my cousin Edward. You don't mention my niece Denise, and they're hurt, so you're wrong there. Get out, look, you want to go kill people and do stupid shit, go do it on your own. Do it on your own. Leave us out of it. We're all about peace, love, and taking care of each other. And you know, some of the other commandments that were, I mean, think about this. I had an argument the other day with Dad about the commandments, because I was saying these were the 2 platters of duh. Don't kill anybody. Okay, duh. Don't, you know, your neighbor's wife. Don't steal. I mean, it's like, my father is Captain Obvious. He just does it from a platform. You know what he should have had? Thou shalt create a bullhorn. Do you know how much better that would have made it for me when doing the Sermon on the Mount? I had a sore throat for a month after that. Just to give you an idea.
So, speaking of the Sermon on the Mount, and some of the fabulous...
Which is not the name of a porn movie, by the way.
Right, right. You had some incredible sermons in the Bible.
Thank you.
But how much of the Bible is accurate, and how much, like, are there any things in the Bible that you think that, like, wow, they really got that wrong?
Does Macy's tell Gimbals? You know, this is the great thing about, you're familiar with the word interpretation?
Yeah.
There you go. Allowing you to think and breathe and come up with some conclusions on your own. Just make sure you don't turn and go,
There's a gun! I think I'll do this in the name of my father!
don't do that.
Okay, that's probably some good advice. So, there are rumors circulating that you had a kid with Mary Magdalene. Is any of that true?
I am not currently in a position to make comment on such things. Based on advice of counsel, I reserve my right to remain silent. But he's cute.
So, now, the Virgin Mother Mary, was she really a virgin?
Before I met her. Ow!
That's your mother.
Look, don't push it. Look, we're agreed to the interview. I remember, Son of God, I'll edit this for you just by thinking about it.
So, what do you think about people worshiping the Virgin Mary? Do you think that...
Well, I worshipped her for at least a solid weekend. I get it, but you seen Pam Anderson? That was, you know, the 5th and 6th day were really good, but when Dad did Pam, he didn't actually do Pam. I'm just created Pam. That was nice. You always knew where North was when you looked at her.
So a lot of things changed in the New Testament after you took over. It's like you kind of changed who God was. One of the big things is, why is it all of a sudden okay to eat bacon?
Have you had bacon?
I have.
Dad did not fuck up on that day. That was maybe a little less nitrates and nitrites, but overall, it's, yeah.
So why did your dad say no bacon, and then you came along and said yes bacon?
I made him an omelet, and he went, "Oh shit, this is good. I was wrong, son. I messed up. Don't tell anybody, but bacon good."
So your father is fallible.
I didn't say that.
But that's what you're implying. If you're saying bacon
No, you're
was...
implying it. I didn't imply it. You're extrapolating from some sort of an idea that therefore he might be fallible, and his fallibility can end up with. How do you feel about surfing to Denver?
How do you surf to Denver?
Ask my father. He'll show you.
Okay, that's all the questions I have for Jesus right now.
I'd like to thank you for your time. It was enjoyed this. Yes.
All right, fuck it, having too much fun. Thank you for tuning in. Here's one more bit. There's another historical figure talking about modern events. Tune in next week when something else will happen. I have no idea what. Kisses. Love you. There you go. There you have it.
Mother Teresa, how are you doing today?
Jason, it's lovely to talk to you.
So you've done a lot of good for the world, a lot of great acts of kindness. You've helped a lot of people.
I tried. I wanted to do something for people. I thought it was, try to be good. Try to be nice to people. What a hard idea.
Well,
how do you feel about becoming a saint?
Too little, too late. I was doing these things for a long time. The whole thing, you have to be dead before sainthood. How do you get to enjoy that? Technically, I'm dead. How do I know I'm a saint? I read about it in the Inquirer. Saw it on TMZ. What? That's lame. But it's nice.
So, we've heard reports since your death that you've been coming back and inhabiting the bodies of hookers and boozers and druggies. Is that any truth to that?
Do you know the Van Halen song, Everybody Wants Some?
Sure.
Well, I want some too, and this is how I get it.
Is that why your voice has changed so much since you died?
No. You ever notice you look at old video reels of me, you never hear me talking? Look, I was Mother Teresa if people heard me. Look, the title Motherfucker Teresa wouldn't go over so well. They kept me quiet for a reason. There had to be, I looked innocent. I used to spend a lot of time at the docks. I'm sorry, I did. I smoked a lot. I drank a lot. There's a lot that brought me to, putting on a frock and being really nice. It took its toll. That's all I can tell you. So, here you have it. But I love you.
This is the KXSR Digital Broadcast Network.